Good morning. It's Sunday. Welcome to Sunday service. It's 10:30 and we are at All Spiritual Life Center's live video feed for Facebook. Again, at the end, when you watch this video, like our page at All Spiritual Life Center page on Facebook, as well as like the video, and please share it with anybody so that we can get more of this message out there and help awaken people to their potential and who they truly are and what they're able to truly do. We have fallen into a time of forgetfulness, but the time period we're in now, and we'll go into the precession of the equinox and all this other stuff at a later date. We got much in store. But at the time period we're in now, we're on an ascension up in our consciousness. And we're at a point to where we can reach critical mass. And what I mean by reaching critical mass is if we can get 144,000 people on this planet into the same stream of consciousness, of raising consciousness, of unity, of interdependence instead of being just independent or dependent, but interdependent, where we work with each other to not only better the planet, but better our own lives and work together and support each other. 144,000 people in this stream of consciousness will shift the consciousness on the planet of man. That's pretty powerful, that it takes that little of people, that little of mind, that little of awakening, and that little group of people that can truly make a huge dimensional consciousness shift. And that's the time period we're in. We're in that ascension up. So ascension doesn't necessarily mean we're going to disappear. Not to say it can't happen. But through the course of studies and some of the ancient texts that I've read and things to that nature, it's more of a consciousness and spiritual while we're in the flesh. And while we're in the flesh, we can make a difference. We can truly make a difference. We can bring heaven on earth by becoming the gateway for that heaven to come. So that's starting off our healing service. So everybody, please get comfortable. We are going to light the candle to invite spirit in. And this is also a representation of the light, the flame within us. And that when we light our candle by doing the work and awakening ourselves more and more to the possibilities of what our potential is, then someone else can light their flame through us. And we can light how many candles off one candle? That's amazing, right? So let's light our flame and reminding our flame to hold for others. All right. We are going to have our invocation. Let's close our eyes and breathe. Another deep breath to center us in this moment. This is where life is, right here, right now. Let everything that you plan on doing today fall away for the moment. It'll be there when we're done. Let yesterday's worries or pains just stay in yesterday. Let's be right here, right now, alive and breathing. Mother, Father, God, infinite source, creator of all life, deliverer of all life. We breathe in your breath. We ignite your flame within us, for we know we are connected directly. May your words be our words. Your thoughts be our thoughts. May our heart expand to the agape love that you extend each and every day for all life in all dimensions, in all planets, everywhere. Surround us with your healing touch, your protection, and your illumination. And may we remember that which you are is that which we have our being in. And for this, we are grateful. We say thank you. And we open our hearts and our minds to receive that universal love that is unconditional. And we become the beacon of light that we were meant to shine. And together we say, so mote it be. All right. Now, we are going to get into our declaration of principles. I know we said we were going to get into our healing service, but I got a little ahead of myself, so it's okay, right? So we're going to read the declaration. Anybody who doesn't have the declaration of principles, we do have them on our Facebook page. And also this week, our website is bare bones, but I believe it's up and running. It's allspirituallifecenter.org, is it? allspirituallifecenter.org. So we're going to be uploading these videos. So if you've missed the first few, they're going to be there. We'll have the declarations and the healing prayer there. So you can download that also. All righty, let's read Declaration of Principles. We believe in infinite intelligence. We believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expressions of infinite intelligence. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitutes true religion. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of the individual continue after the change called death. That's what we're going to be talking about today. We affirm that communication with the so-called dead is a fact, scientifically proven through the phenomena of spiritualism. Spiritualism has given us so much to reconnect us with the world on the other side, and not to, that there's no death, there's only a continuation of life. So we're grateful for them. Thank you so much. We believe that the highest we believe that the highest morality is contained in the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. We affirm that the moral responsibility of individuals and that we make our own happiness or unhappiness as we obey or disobey nature's physical and spiritual laws. It's going to be a fun one to get into. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed to any soul here or hereafter. Okay. And number 9, we affirm that the precepts of prophecy and are healing and divine attributes proven through mediumship. You have to excuse me this morning, my tongue's not working right. So those are our declarations, and today we will be doing and discussing declaration 4. But now it is time for our healing meditation and our healing service. Let's everybody get real comfortable. Let's get into that breath and that heart space and that centeredness and that oneness. How good it feels to be just present in the being, in the beingness of that which is divine creator. We are the light of the world. Well, some of us may have forgotten this fact. All of our ancient spiritual traditions have been telling us this, and we happen to be in a time period now where we're beginning to remember. We're beginning to let go of old ideas, old belief systems, old programming that doesn't work, not today. And we begin to realize when we hold on to these things that no longer serve, that we only lock the door to ourselves. And so our healing service today is about letting go of these old ideas and belief systems. And one of the master teachers that we call Jesus told us, heal thyself, physician. Heal thyself, physician. Think about that. What does this mean? What comes up for you? Does it come up that you can't do that? You don't have that power? There's a limiting belief. We're going to let that go. If we are the image and likeness of, therefore all is possible. So let's breathe in possibilities of restoring our hearts, our minds, our spirits, and committing to the memory that that which is I am, I am. Let's let ourselves take in these words. And allow yourself a mantra of I am that I am. I am that I am. Put a capital I on both of those I ams. That straight line of connectedness, that middle pillar within us, that chakra system that reaches to the earth below us, and to the divinity of the stars above us, and into the mind that created all that we can see in the unseen and seen universes. I am that I am. I am that I am. And say to yourself, I allow the potentiality of my higher divinity to begin restoring my mind to correct thinking, to my heart into remembering, and my spirit into claiming that which is I am. And I can invoke through my spiritual nature and flame that healing touch from our healing angels, our healing guides, and our master teachers. And we call them forward now. To help us let go of limiting beliefs about ourselves, about humanity, and about the world around us. To help us restore ourselves to sanity of seeing truth of who we are as a species, as a human, and as a being of light. to help us open our eyes and see through what we would consider ugliness, and know that when we see ugliness, we see people sleeping and forgetting as we once did. But we know their very being, their very essence is connected to the same source that we have our being in. And we bless them. May they remember as we are remembering. May our healing teachers restore our breath and how we breathe, to breathe from our crown chakra into our heart, and not just with our nose and our mouths. To breathe from the very pores of our skin and take in the light essences. This is how the ancients knew how to breathe. Feel that energy. Restore your breath. Breathe from your crown and through your heart. May they meet in the middle pillar and restore, re-energize, and revitalize your entire physical, mental, spiritual, emotional bodies. Breathe in this healing force. Let it spread. Direct it to any place in any one of those bodies that you feel you need healing in. Allow it to energize you. Sit with this feeling for a few moments. And continue the mantra as you begin breathing correctly. I am that I am. I am that I am. Now we're going to go into our healing prayer. Remember, the first part of the prayer, you hold for yourself. For we cannot help and light someone else's candle if we first don't take care of our own flame. We ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. Part of your part is practicing this breath technique of breathing through the crown, the pineal gland, and through the heart, and allowing that energy breath, that chi, to meet in your middle column. Now, I want you to close your eyes and hold in your mind's eye and in your heart somebody that you know that needs to awaken or remember or that needs healing. And I want you to hold them in your mind's eye. And as you breathe out, breathe this life energy, this healing towards them. See in your mind the breath of that which is Ya'ad or God or universal spirit surrounding them. And now we say for them, I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in love in the power of Ya'ad. And so it is. Now remember, though we look out and we see another being that we would call them, we must know that as we offer the healing to ourselves, and we offer this healing to them in truth, in absolute oneness, as we heal them, we heal our collective, because there's only one of us truly here. And each one of us is a ray of sunshine, connected to the great central sun, the giver of all light and love. And now, we are going to do our healing prayer. Infinite intelligence, central sun of creation, unseen force that is the giver of all lives, that is my being, that is at the central core of all of our being. For you impart a seed, a light, a flame that is my eternal spirit. We thank you for this time, remembering to heal thyself, physician. That we can begin a deeper healing of ourselves, our planet, and our brothers and sisters around us by just beginning to change our thoughts, our perspectives, our perception, our feelings about ourselves, by focusing on what is right and what is good, and not condemning what we deem bad, but remembering that there are many still in slumber. So as the master teacher once said, allow us to be the light and the way. And for this, we are so grateful for this truth. for this memory, for this life, this gift. And we say thank you. And we say, I love you as you love us. And we expand our hearts to receive the Christ consciousness, the Christos flame. And we say thank you. So mote be. Whew, I don't know about you, but I feel on fire. Well, I get all these, yeah. I love you. I'm so grateful you're here. All right. Now we are going to get into our service. So we're going to talk about good morning, James, Angie, Roberta. Good morning. Welcome. So what we're going to discuss, pardon me, is Declaration 4 today. So Declaration 4 is we affirm that the existence and personal identity of the individual continue after the change called death. Pardon me, my throat dried out. Here we go. So let's see what they have to say about it here. Life here and life hereafter is all one life, whose continuity of consciousness is unbroken by that mere change in the form, whose process we call death. All right. Let's think about that for a minute. There's a reason why Reverend Mike and I are wearing black today, because we knew we were going to be discussing death today. But death isn't just about, let's talk about that word for a minute. Let's talk about the color black. Let's begin there. Okay, so everything is vibration. Okay, science has told us that. So color spectrums tend to be vibrational frequencies as well. Okay, so the color black, a lot of times when we see somebody wearing black, or a lot of when they wear black all the time, we kind of get a prejudiced thought about them, or we project what society has deemed about certain people and individuals who wear the color black a lot. But let me share with you what I know about the color black, because I'm one of those individuals sometimes that people want to make a judgment and pass judgment on. The color black is a very protective color. Okay. First of all, it is all color spectrum. Think about it. When we create the color black, we create it with all color. Okay. So the color black has all of those frequencies in there. Okay. And it also is a very protective. It deflects negative energy. Now, isn't that funny? When you see somebody wearing black all the time, a lot of time our judgment wants to go into that's a negative person. They're doing something evil or not good or whatever. Okay. But in truth, the color black repels negativity. So when you see somebody wearing a lot of black and that old programming wants to jump in your head, stop and remember, they're repelling negativity, which is your judgment. So they're smart. They may not even understand it. They just may feel called to do it, or maybe they do. But I know when I wear black outside of today, it's either because I'm feeling a little, what's the word I want to choose here? I feel, on those days, I might feel a little more vulnerable than I care to be exposed. So I'll wear the color black when I go out so that I can not pick up on other people's negativity or vibrational frequencies that might be at a lower vibrational rate. So it helps protect me. Okay. Black is associated with the color of death. Okay. So if we're going to discuss that black, the color black is protection, and it's like a cloak of protection and repels negativity. So when we think of Brother Death, okay, the angel that comes and greets us at that time when we do lay down our bodies, okay, he's protecting us. He's making sure that our soul gets to where it needs to go, that our spirit is protected during this transition. Okay. But there's other forms of death other than the laying down of the body. Every day we have cells die in our bodies, every single day. Do we mourn those cells? No, we don't even think about it. It's something that just naturally occurs, and we don't even think about it. But each time we shed the old skin, a new cell is formed. And depending on our consciousness and what we think, what we feel, what we speak, and what we vibrate within us about ourselves will depend on the health of that new cell. Now think about that for a minute. We lose trillions of cells every day. Just flake off of us. What are we building, regenerating, restoring? Are we restoring old thoughts and programming, feelings, resentments? Because all of this affects our body, our physical body. Okay? So all of these energies that we carry around with us, when we shed that old cell, how healthy is that new cell coming in? Heal thyself, physician. Okay? How healthy is that new cell coming in? If we want, science tells us in 7 years, we are a completely different human being. Some I've even seen some instances where they talk about within a year, we're completely brand new. Okay? So each day we die a little bit. Okay? So let's talk about other forms of death that are transitional in our awakening. Okay? So when we begin recognizing that we have this power to heal thyself, where's the first steps? What needs to die within us so that something new can be birthed? Okay, because you can't have death without resurrection. They go hand in hand. Okay, you can't have resurrection without birth. They go hand in hand. Okay, so let's stop and think. What inside of me needs to die so that more of my authentic truth can be born, can begin to be what lives me? So, old ideas. Okay, so we just talked about one idea, and that was how we look at and deem people who tend to wear black all the time. A lot of times when these people wear black, because they feel very insecure, and this is the only color that they feel protected in. A lot of kids today wear black. Look at the state of some of this and how children are not being raised to their highest potential. We're too busy trying to mold them into what we think they should be. I don't know about you, but when I was younger, that's why I wore black all the time. I felt I needed a shield from the world. I felt like I needed protected. And I don't feel that way today unless I'm feeling more vulnerable. So, when I first began so much of these practices, things that had to die away so that the Michelle that you see today could be more authentic and stand in truth, was I had to get rid of my ideas that the world was a bad place. I had to get rid of so many of the old programming about what people had said about me that I had chosen to pick up and start believing myself. I had to let go of resentments that I felt others had harmed me, and that I continued to replay over and over in my mind and in my gut. Okay? If you ever notice when you think about something that's uncomfortable, Where do you feel it at? You feel it down there in that gut space. Okay? And that's always an indication that it's time to let that die. It's always an indication when we feel that twist, that there's something that we need to resurrect, look at, and let it go. Okay? I needed to get rid of my perceptions of superiority, of judgment, and I really had to get out of the blame game. I had to stop playing a victim. I had to stop telling myself that I can't and start telling myself I can. Because what's that old adage? If you say you can't, you're right, you can't. But if you say you can, you're right, you can. Okay. So I had to let go of these limiting beliefs about myself because it has to start with me, just like it has to start with you. The only way we can light another flame is igniting and growing the one within us. And that means we have to allow old ideas, old programming, old belief systems, and old resentments die. They have to die. Now, how do we process and get it to a point where we can allow them to die? Well, this is some of the work. My throat today, pardon me. Sometimes how we do this is what we like to call at All Spiritual Life Center shadow work. And what that means is we began going into our unconscious self. We began going into what really is dictating our experiences. Okay, we might hold conscious intent that we want this, we want to try this, we would like to experience this. But if we have a limiting belief in our subconscious, then that's what's going to produce the outcome. And that's why a lot of times when people are working with the law of attraction, they'll be doing all the practices and doing all the practices, but they're only focusing on their conscious self. And they wonder why they don't achieve the goals that they had set out for themselves. So that's because their subconscious is still holding on to those limiting beliefs, and they haven't explored that place within themselves to bring it into the light. And we got to bring the darkness. What do we do? Candle does? It dispels the darkness. It shows you what's in there. We got to not be afraid to take our flame and turn within and find that shadow self and not be afraid of that shadow self. It's not evil. It's that dark place that we're afraid to look at because it would make us claim more responsibility. It would make us get out of being the victim. It pushes us to a place of forgiveness. And this is the place that the ego is terrified to go into, because then it must, as we begin more of that work and uncovering all of these limiting beliefs and these resentments, we begin uncovering those and pulling them out into the light of day and seeing how untrue they truly are. And we begin to let them go and forgive ourselves. Then what begins to happen is we begin bringing the conscious and the subconscious into one mind instead of having that darker aspect of us dictate our outcomes. So that's a form of death. That's a form of death that allows us to live more freely, to allows us to begin manifesting that which we want in our life, that allows us to become that brighter flame in what we're meant to be. So that's another form of death that we do each and every day, that we need to do each and every day. We need to always be consciously aware of what we're thinking about ourselves, what we're saying about ourselves, even in jest. You know, don't call yourself stupid anymore. Don't claim any illness. And so when my body is seeking to rebuild and strengthen its immune system, my nose will run, I'll sneeze, I'll be tired, time for rest so that my immune system can become stronger. That's what I tell myself when those days occur. That's what I tell myself. My body is getting stronger, so I'm going to allow it to rest, and I'm going to do self-care to help it become stronger. You've got to pay attention to how you speak about anything in your life. Okay? Those old words need to die. Okay? So now that we've discussed what we can do and how we die daily, now let's talk about the transition on which we do call death. Okay? So if we take these limiting beliefs and we begin shifting our mentalism, all right, we begin shifting our emotional self and clearing out our emotional waters and cleaning those up, and we begin recognizing how the body unit, the heart, the mind, and the gut worked as one, start recognizing that what we're thinking directly corresponds to what we're feeling. And at any moment, if we don't like how we're feeling, you can shift it by changing your thoughts. Okay? Then if that's how we do this for a better life, then when we lay this body down, when you make that spiritual transition and birth back into the realm of spirit, you're more enlightened. Okay? You're more enlightened, you're more illuminated. And ascension isn't about going and everybody just disappearing. It's about ascending now in the flesh so that when we do make our transition, we don't have to get back on the negative wheel of karma. That we can begin consciously creating a life the next time we choose to incarnate. So we can let go. If we let go and let these things die while we're in the flesh now, then the next time we choose to incarnate, those lessons are done. And that's what we call the negative wheel of karma. And the reason why we call it negative, not that it is negative, but these things are uncomfortable. And if we can let go of these limiting, uncomfortable beliefs now, then we don't have to revisit it and relearn the lesson and have it presented for us again. We can move on. We can begin ascending our consciousness. We can begin ascending our spiritual nature. We can begin adding to the human collective. That's powerful stuff. That's how powerful we are. That's how powerful we are. But that's also how powerful our limiting beliefs are, because they can keep us in lesson after lesson after lesson, because they're uncomfortable and we choose not to look at it. We'd rather play the blame game, or we'd rather play the victim. Let these things die. They don't serve us anymore. Take responsibility. It tells us in our declarations to take the moral responsibility. This is part of moral responsibility. When we look out into the world and we don't like what we see, you become the change you wish to see in this world. It's an inside job. It begins with you. And the more of yous that can come into an interdependence, into a conscious creation of a better you to produce a better we, that opens up to the one me that's truly here. That's how powerful we are. That's the capability. Pardon me today. That's the capability that we have in our internal flame. So the continuity of life, we die daily and we're still here, right? It's nothing to be afraid of. In fact, it occurs, as we said, without us thinking about it. So when the body gets to a point that it says, okay, I've served, and now I wish to rest and return to the earth on which I came, then you can look at Brother Death with open eyes and welcome his presence. To know that the transition that you are about to experience, that you have done 1,000 times, and there's nothing to be afraid of, that you're birthing into the realm of spirit once more, to visit with your loved ones, to sit with your guides, to go with your master teachers and set up another life that's even more expansive than this one was. And to know that you let go in this lifetime and did your absolute best to let go of those limiting beliefs, those feelings that don't serve, those resentments that just hold you back, that fear. What is it, fear? False evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. It's not real. It's what we make up or what we've been told to believe. None of it's real. So as you take the time to go within yourself, and I want you to do this, please. I've done it. I know how scary it can be. But you know what? I know what's on the other side. Trust me, fear doesn't get me anymore. I'm not afraid to revisit those things because I know they don't serve me and they don't serve you. If I don't do this work, if I don't hang on, if I keep hanging on to that kind of stuff, and I'm just up here being a mouthpiece, no, I'm not serving you at the greatest capability of my being. That's not fair to you. And I will not allow myself to do that. So when those uncomfortable feelings come up, those old limiting beliefs come up, don't push them off to the side. Look them straight on and ask yourself, why do I believe this? What is it that causes me to feel this way? Why do I keep reacting when this experience shows up? And when we start questioning and asking those questions and take those within and not be afraid to take our flame into that darkness, what we begin discovering is there's nothing there to be afraid of. That 90% of what's in your thought patterns and in your feeling tones, 90% of that is what someone else said to you or what someone told you to believe. This is how the world works. No, it isn't. Doesn't have to be. Remember, it only takes 144,000 of us to tip the scales into greater expansion for all of humanity. So when somebody wants to say, I'm one person, what can I do to change the world? First, you got to go within and create that change. And then you become the change you wish to see in the world. So I hope you've enjoyed this today. Remember, death is a brother. It's a birth. You know, when we're in the spirit world and we come through the womb of our mothers, we're dying in the spirit world temporarily to be birthed into the flesh. And when the flesh lays down here in this world, we're birthed once more into spirit. And we can choose where our elevational spiritual knowledge will be once we make that change called death. We don't have to jump back on the wheel of what I call negative karma. We can begin consciously co-creating something different in our next life and right here, right now. Okay. I hope this served you. I know this work has served me, and I work it every day. Every day. I have to pay attention to what I'm about to say about myself, because I know I am that which I say is I am. Whatever follows the I am statement is exactly what you'll become. And if you say it enough, you can take it to its grand heights to experience illumination, or you can take it down to the lower depths and have to continue wondering why you keep experiencing the same things over and over and over. And stay in the victim, stay in the blame, stay in the fear. It's not who you are. If I have anything to do with anything, I'm going to continue working on me so that I can share this knowledge with you. So, I love you. Much love to you. Now, this would be a place where we would do offerings. And Reverend Mike is going to have something to say. He's going to do our announcements today. So I'm going to go ahead and bless this experience, because for me, this is an offering. This is an offering of coming together and sharing in this knowledge, sharing, awakening, and elevation. Okay? And I want to cultivate that love and that divine light, and I want to offer it not only to you, but we want to offer our light to the world so that the world can be a brighter place for others to see you and say, wow, something's different about you. What have you been doing? And then you can share this knowledge with them and help them get to their brightest flame. So let's bless the offering. We take that deep breath and we cultivate that feeling within our heart, that gratitude, because that is our sacrament. That is our offering. And we cultivate that love and the excitement for life. And we allow it to expand our auras out into our environment around us. And we offer this to the world because we allow ourselves to receive so that we can give. And we thank Mother, Father, God for the blessing of our lives, for the prosperity in our mind, our body, our finances, our homes, our life. It's all abundantly awaiting for us to claim. And we offer these limiting beliefs up to that which is the holiest of divine, of divinity. And we ask that it too be transmuted. Allow it to die so that it can be reborn into a higher frequency of vibration, never to harm anyone ever again. We lay our fears upon the offering table and let them be transmuted to disappear and dissipate, never to harm another again. Because the more we offer these things out of us, the more we can serve the divinity that is within us and that connects us to the holy divine. And we offer this. We offer ourselves. We offer ourselves into the power of service and into the universal love that holds us all, whether we remember this or not. We know there's only one power, and that power is love. And we hold that power within us, and we offer it freely and unconditionally as it's given to us. And we say, I love you, and thank you, thank you, thank you for this life. And we release this, we let this go, saying, yes, please. And together we say, so mote it be. Well, when we have our own brick and mortar building, which, I'm excited, I can't wait for that. And it's on it, I know it's there. We're walking up to it. We just got to take care of a few red tapes and we'll be there. I know that. But last night, normally in our brick and mortar building, this would be a time for messages. And since I can't, since I said the word can't, didn't I? Since I'm not as able to do individual messages with the congregation as we would do when we're in the physical together. Last night we were working with the spirit board, and this angelic order came through, and they gave us a message. And I told Reverend Micah, I said, that would be perfect for message service today. So I'm going to read this from a higher frequency choir of angels. And this is the message that we're going to share today. Okay? So, light of justice, come to us. May our one breath be the breath of justice, and that we choose not the dark breath. May justice show itself to us now, and the one be here as light in the darkness. May we forsake the first love, for we are never without the first love. It's pretty powerful. I thought that was pretty nice. I mean, and what we discerned is when they talk about justice, is they're talking about the balance of the scale, because we have to live in balance. Okay, we have to know our dark side so that we can ignite the light side and be one, like the yin and the yang. So we can be true yang. Okay? So, light of justice, come to us. May our breath be the breath of justice, and that we choose not the dark breath. May justice show itself to us now, and the one be here as light in the darkness. May we forsake the first love, for we are never without the first love. So would it be? All right, we're going to do announcements. I'm going to get up and let Reverend Micah have the field. So, welcome, Reverend Micah.
Good morning, everyone. Announcements. Well, first off, you all know that this coming weekend, July 20th, from 11 to 5, we will have our first ever All Spiritual Life Festival for the summer. We're going to be having readings in the park, and it's going to be Sugar Creek Park. The address is contained in the invite, so you can Google Maps it, find your way there very easily. It's $20 admission for one reading, or $50 for 5 readings from all 5 of our mediums. So trust me, that is definitely the best deal out of all of it. It's kid-friendly. There will be an area where you can bring your children. They can play. We'll have, snacks. We'll have drinks, everything you might need. Now, this is the important part. From 4 to 5 o'clock, the readings will be done, because for the last hour of our event, our esteemed and lovely Reverend Michelle will be giving her message, kind of like a service or a sermon in the park, but with, a nice little twist, because we can't keep things just, straight and narrow and linear all the time. We got to change it up a little bit. That's life, right? So definitely make time to come to the festival, be there this weekend, accept the invite, reserve your spot, let us know you're coming, share with all of your friends, anybody else you might know on here who would be interested in coming and showing their support.
There's going to be a 50-50 raffle.
There will be a 50-50 raffle.
Sorry.
There will be a 50-50 raffle available, 3 of them. So after we gather materials, for those who sign up for a reading, you will get a ticket, one colored ticket for 1 reading, and a certain colored ticket for 5 readings. When you drop those in little special bowls with your readers, we will collect those and announce them at separate hours throughout the day. And, you'll get a lot of cool stuff. Come and trust us. So we will also have a booth available at the festival for information about the church, and actually membership applications if you'd like to be a member of the church too. So learn, bring friends. If they want to know more about us, direct them to that booth, and we will have our esteemed members of the board telling them all about what we are about, what we represent, and what we're here to do for this planet.
Also share that we're taking credit cards. We'll have credit cards, and that our drinks and
yes,
will only be $1.
Yes, as Reverend Michelle just said, we will be able to take cash, and we will be able to take credit cards as well. So no need to worry if you don't have cash on hand. We can accommodate you. So next part of our announcement is that part of the reason that we are starting this event, not only just to make the community more aware of what we are also raising the funds in order to cement our status as a nonprofit church with the IRS. We are halfway there with the membership dues and the donations that we've received. Thank you all so much for the service that you've done and everything and every bit of help that you've given. We're halfway there. We just need to get that final stretch, and we're hoping that this festival is going to be that final stretch we need to get this next step completed, because from there we will be able to open the official All Spiritual Life Center bank account, where we will then be able to open the PayPal, so then we can actually open the offering section to donations, to putting it on the page and making sure everybody knows that we're here to support the community, but we need that support too to help them. Because it's not just for us. It's not about us at all. It's about what we are trying to do for everyone that we can help here. So with that, we also want you to know that in the meantime, before that comes about, if you would like to, if you have membership dues that you haven't submitted yet, or you would like to donate and support the church in its continued growth, you can still send your donations marked to myself, Reverend Micah Hale, and Reverend Michelle Hale.
Just leave off the Reverend.
Yes, just leave off the Reverend part. You can mail those to our address at 43 Virginia Avenue, Dayton, Ohio, 45410. I'll make sure to put a post on our page after that, letting you know that that's our home address where you can send it to. All donations are very welcome. They are not used for our personal use whatsoever. They are kept in a very, very safe place, which I'm not going to say on here because then it wouldn't be very safe, would it? They're going to be kept in a very safe place for their donation into the All Spiritual Life Center bank account when it is officially open. And we will announce when it is officially open, because we want to share that celebration and that victory for the church with you guys when it does happen. And I believe that actually covers all of the announcements for today. But tune in for next week. I'll have more then. Promise you there. You guys have been so great and so welcoming to me. Thank you so very much for receiving this, and thank you for what you have given us in return.
Reverend Micah, would you like to do the benediction today?
I believe I can do the benediction for today. All right. Now, everybody, thank you for those who have gathered. Get yourself centered one more time. Close your eyes with me. That is the one breath. When we breathe collectively together, we become the one breath. And let that rest in your mind, and let that rest in your heart. Infinite intelligence, the great spirit, mother and father, the all that is one and the one that is all. Thank you so much for your presence here today. Thank you for all of the children that have gathered here to hear the words that Reverend Michelle has spoken today on the change that we call death. That it is not a finality. It is a door that we walk through. It is a transformation that comes through us. It is a transmutation within us to become something greater than we were before. While parts of us that were in the past, our baggage, our fears, our anxieties, while those may die, we will not die, for we are eternal. You live within us, and that is the eternalness of spirit that continues to live through us. The more that we move ourselves out of the way, the more that we move fear, the more that we move judgment and anger and hate out of the way, the more of you is born within us, and the more immortal that we become. Thank you for the truth that death is not the end. Death is merely a rebirth, leading us to a resurrection. As the great masters who resurrected before us have done, they showed us the way to truly live. And for this, we say thank you. May all those who gathered here today walk in peace, walk in your light, and may the face that they wear be the face that is you, displayed for all others that they view and that view them. In perfect love and in perfect trust, together we say, so mote it be, and amen. Thank you all so much. I turn it over now to Reverend Michelle for the final farewell.
Well, actually, you don't have to turn it over. We can say farewell together. I hope you guys have a very blessed week. Start thinking, you know, when you feel a limited thought or a limited belief, roll up. Or if you don't like the way you're feeling, stop and ask yourself, what was I just thinking? Let's welcome death into our lives so that more of us can be reborn and restored to perfect love, perfect trust, and perfect health. Mm-hmm. Have a great week. Much love.
Much
All
love.
Spiritual Life Center. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.